everyone, RemanX here. We're going to go through a video. We're going to highlight the top 5 characters in the skill category, and you probably know this by now. There aren't a lot to choose from here, and skill is probably the category that needs the most love, but it also got the most love recently here. We all know that the skilletary was not necessary and quite disappointing, and so we're going to talk about the characters that have that DD3, DD4 Doom Raid endgame viability, the ones you're going to want to think about building up as you progress. And we're going to start with a character here who is enduring as she is deadly. And the thing about her is she does bring quite a deadly kit. Now remember, this 2-turn offense down and her rewind and stun make her a force to be reckoned with on her own and on her team. Now, because she's also part of the Black Order, she obviously gets some additional love, but more importantly, she just fills that role in the Doom Raid specifically of helping you control the fight. Without her use, I don't think skill is even possible and without major number of attempts. So check out the video, guys, on the channel. You'll see the skill nodes being done for Doom using the following 5 units. Now we're going to go to another character, and I had a mixed reaction. I have a problem with this character. I really wanted the stuff to work outside of Dark Dimension. I mean, out of War, and because he gets a lot of his bonuses in War, I was always kind of hard on Taskmaster. He is one of my favorite characters of all time. The fact that he has the ability to copy other people's reflexes and just the iterations in other video games were absolutely hysterical. I wanted more from the kit. That being said, we'll talk specifically about what he does for you. The most important thing that he's going to do is basically steal buffs. So a lot of times in the Doom Raids or in remember, you could use him in Dark Dimension 4. I don't recommend him until after your second run, but he's just going to become a character that is going to be vital to bring up. And we're going to talk about this because a couple other characters probably are Dark Dimension 4 viable, but they're going to be expensive. So you got to work that out very carefully when you're using your planning tools. His stun, his blind, his control, being able to steal buffs, the fact that his bleeds can do a ton of damage. It is devastating when he does get his moves off. And more importantly, you probably have faced him and realized how much of a pain he is. He is another element of that control. Remember, a lot of the characters in the Doom Raid can't be blind. So the next character we're going to talk about is actually going to be Red Guardian. Now, Red Guardian, probably the top 3 here fluctuate depending on the game mode. Now, he is by far the best pure tank-like protector, taunting protector in the game. And the main reason why we say that is because he has all the tools, from the fact that when he taunts, he applies heals, he applies defense up, starts with the starting taunt plus defense up. He is a better Drax combination of Captain America without the energy feed, but more importantly, he has the ability to ability block. And ability block is going to come in important because that is one of the things you're going to need to start challenging Doom, but also prevent other abilities from going off. So he's actually a really well-built character. He's unfortunately a 90, and when I say 90, that's how many pieces he requires total to get to G15. And so a lot of budgets for characters just don't work that in. Next character we're going to talk about is Baron Zemo. Now, Baron Zemo shouldn't come as a surprise. What surprises me is that he's not a premium exclusive. They made him farmable. I was really worried for a long time there when he came to the RTA that once the RTA was over, he was going to wind up in premium orbs. We dodged that bullet because he is another essential for the Doom Raids. Now, varying game modes, if you guys are currently in these gamma nodes, I'm sorry, the gamma raid is frustrating. You're probably using him in Hydra lane. He is part of the team, but again, you'll notice that his health just isn't what a lot of other characters are. He seems to have a lower health pool and has a little bit of more trouble surviving. That being said, it shouldn't surprise you that he is the ultimate controller, from ability block to slow, Being able to clear buffs, the hits go on, and he is a minion's worst enemy. Now, this last one is probably going to not surprise you. And it's more recently, and what happened with this is you'll see a lot of other G15 characters, including Black Bolt, that I have at skill that you will be able to take a look at and understand that I've tested these out. But Night Nurse, okay, not only is she on one of the best teams in the game, she is probably fighting for that spot of best rework in the game until Nobu's rework. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, we all are expecting a lot out of you. Scopely, don't disappoint us. If Nobu doesn't come out of the bottom of the tier, I suspect we'll see some pitchforks and torches. That being said, we'll talk about what Night Nurse does for the team and the overall value. So she got a really big boost. She got a bunch of health. They went back and modified her health, and that was really one of the problems when they announced the rework. They went back in, they figured it out, and we're going to talk about her passive skill. Now, this is amazing. This reactionary, even though it's just her, well, if she's able to keep herself alive because she's bringing up the speed and getting those heals off, that is absolutely something that is vital. When I see a skill like this, Beast, Night Nurse, and other characters that have these reactionary heals based on thresholds, these threshold skills are allowed them to challenge things like Black Order. But more importantly, her ult. Now, her ult is an amazing health, amazing heal based on her health. It also flips negative effects to positive effects. So a character that's applying heal block on her will suddenly be applying death proof. So, you know, on the nodes where you're fighting, you know, characters like our Asgardian friends who apply heal block on almost every turn, she's able to flip that into death proof and turn the tables relatively quickly. The other thing that I think people take for granted is the fact she also now has a clear. Now, the way this works is it targets the lowest health character and then clears the negative effects on them and their adjacent allies. We're going to do some more testing on it just to make sure it is working that way all the time. There were some initial concerns when that was T4'd. And finally, her self-defense. And this is something that was always powerful back in the day because when we were using her, she was able to drop a slow for 2 turns. Now, this is something that you will see is absolutely vital. Slow is another way to help reduce the amount of damage that an enemy team does, and being able to apply it for 2 turns, just overall powerful. So Night Nurse is the top spot. Tell me what you guys think. I'm going to go through some of the characters that were honorable mentions, and we'll tell you a little bit why they didn't quite cut it for the end of the raid. And we'll go through it, right? So honorable mention here is Killmonger. Now, Killmonger, love the guy. I mean, I use him a lot, and I did try him often on the skill nodes. I just couldn't get him to maintain functionality at the boss node. The Doom Raid is where he fell off, and he fell off really hard there. With his built-in sustain and his overall damage and the ability to give himself offense up and the synergy with Taskmaster, he is probably a good flex character if you don't have one of these characters ready to go or you're not sure on it. I will tell you that you're going to lose the control with the ability block, the slows. That's the problem he brings is while he's, you know, you don't have to control a character that's dead. Unfortunately, the Doom Raid does have a lot more hit points than you can control. Next character we're going to talk about is Hawkeye. Now, Hawkeye is exceptional. Hawkeye, not even at ISO level 5, has an amazing focus. He lands blinds on JJ. He does things that are absolutely insane. And from a very, very specific category, he is one of the best controllers, except when the team that designs the raids made characters that were largely immune to blind. Thanks, guys. Thanks for making Hawkeye irrelevant again. Yeah, so basically, if you've invested in this character like I have, thinking that you were going to take him into the Doom Raids, yes, he does fine in Dark Dimension 4, but the problem you're going to have is he just doesn't get enough, even with the synergy with Black Widow, who we're going to talk about next. Now, Black Widow, probably really, really close and we'll have to see what happens with the skill military rework. So this is something we're going to be revisiting every month as new characters get added. So this is, again, the month of March going into April. We'll probably do one at the end of the month while each patch is announced, and take some of the characters for a test run. Absolutely very, very close because of the stun, the speed up, the ability to steal buff. So she almost gets it done. The problem is she really starts to shine when she has Hawkeye in with her, and Hawkeye really just falling off doesn't do it. And like I said, you know, if she was able to drop those bleeds that are devastating because Hawkeye was there, absolutely a much better option. But because of the fact that she's not getting fed the extra energy, the 4-turn stun, other characters are actually adding more from that category. So sorry, she just didn't make the cut for a lot of people. So, and then we're going to talk about somebody else here, and we're going to talk about Nick Fury. And so Nick Fury is a lot of people that people want to take the Dark Dimension for. He's expensive. He's fallen off from a lot of builds. I don't think I faced more than maybe 2 Nick Furies on War Defense recently. Something needs to happen here to bring these guys relevant. It may need to recruit some new agents down the road, and hopefully we'll see this team, again next month. Stay tuned. So that's all you're going to get from me. Take a look at the skill. Hopefully Skilletary gets announced relatively soon so we can start anticipating if it's going to be a team that we reinvest in, or if we write them off like we did Wakanda, and they do earn the title of Wakanda 2.0. Remember, I do things so you don't have to, and I'm going to be doing Mutants next, and boy, I'm not looking forward to that one, because it is a lot more complicated than you think. There are a lot of good mutants in this game. You would think they were owned by the house that did mutant movies. Well, badly. See you soon.